What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I would like to talk about wide receiver Drake London. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content or NFL content. If you'd like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. And if you'd like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel as well. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So as I mentioned in today's video, I do want to talk about wide receiver Drake London and why Drake London will prove that he's a superstar this season. So Drake London is entering his third season with our Atlanta Falcons, and I do believe we're going to see a huge jump from year 2 to year 3 for Drake London. As you know, Drake London goes about 6'4", 6'5", 220 pounds, and he is one of those guys that I think has a lot of untapped potential. When you think about Drake London, you don't think about him as a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL, but I believe after this season, that narrative is going to change around Drake London. I recently seen, I believe it was a PFF ranking on Twitter where they had Drake London rated as the 37th best wide receiver in the league. And I definitely think that Drake London could easily be a top 10 or top 15 wide receiver in the league. And I believe after this season, they're going to start looking at the media is going to start looking at Drake London as a top 10 or top 15 wide receiver. Drake London hasn't eclipsed 1,000 yards in his first 2 seasons. Last year, he had about 905 yards receiving, had 2 touchdowns. In his rookie season, he had about 850 yards receiving and 4 touchdowns. And I expect both his yardage numbers and touchdowns to go up under this Zach Robinson's scheme and offense. And I really feel like he could be the Puka Nacua of this Atlanta Falcons offense, where they're going to move him around. And he's going to be one of those guys that I think is around 1,200 yards receiving or 1,300 yards receiving. I could easily see him eclipsing that 1,000-yard mark this season. But I do believe that Drake London is one of the most talented wide receivers in the NFL. And we haven't seen Drake London's best abilities yet. Coming out of the University of USC, one of the things that I loved about watching his highlights and, covering him during the draft was his ability to go up and high point the football. He's real similar to a Megatron. I'm not saying that he is Megatron, but his ability to go up and high point the ball was, to me, his best attribute is his strong hands and his ability to play basketball on the football field. As you guys know, Drake London was a former basketball player, a really good high school basketball player, and played basketball in the beginning of his career as a freshman at USC, and also played football. So he's one of those guys that I think is really, really talented, and we haven't seen the best of Drake London yet. And I really feel like it came down to the quarterback play and the offensive play calling by Arthur Smith. I really feel like the plays weren't, down the field, whether we were able to stretch the field and use Drake London's ability to go up and high point the ball. And I don't believe that Drake London was one of the focal points. As we know, Arthur Smith believed in running the football, and that was his focal point, is getting the ball to the tight ends, throwing the ball across the middle of the field. But with this new wide open offense under Zach Robinson, I expect more deep shots down the field. I expect more over routes and things of that nature. And if you think about the Rams offense with Cooper Kupp and the guys that they have over there, Puka Nacua, those guys put up big numbers and gaudy numbers. And I expect the same thing this season for Drake London and Kyle Pitts. I expect both of those guys to have over 1,000 yards receiving in this offense. But I definitely think that Drake London is one of those guys that we should keep our eye on. I definitely think that he's a superstar wide receiver. He has that type of ability, and he's one of the most competitive players that I've seen in the NFL today. If you go back and look at that Tampa Bay game, the second game that we lost to Tampa at home, Drake London basically took over the game in the fourth quarter, made some great catches down the field. He had a big catch at the end of the game, even though he came up about 5 yards short when he caught the Hail Mary. But he is one of those guys, like I said, that's a spectacular talent. And I really feel like after this season playing alongside Kirk Cousins and being in this more wide open offense, I really feel like he's going to open a lot of eyes, open a lot of fans' eyes around the football world and around the sports world. But with that being said, You guys give me your thoughts on Drake London. Do you think that Drake London could be a superstar in the NFL? I definitely think that he's a superstar talent, and I really feel like this season he's going to put the NFL on notice. But with that being said, this been your boy Jew. I have a lot more content coming for you guys, but as always, Falcons Nation, rise up, be blessed. Peace.